Ever wondered why potty training your dog seems like an uphill task? Let's face it, the struggle is real. You've got your new puppy, and you're excited. But then, the reality of potty training sets in. It's a messy, time-consuming process that can test even the most patient of pet owners. The first struggle many of us face is inconsistency. One day you're diligent about taking your pup outside every 2 hours, and the next day, life gets in the way. The result? Your new rug becomes the victim of a puppy accident. Consistency is key when it comes to potty training. Dogs are creatures of habit, and they need a regular routine to understand when and where they should relieve themselves. Another common struggle is the lack of patience. We've all been there. Watching your puppy sniff around the garden for what seems like an eternity, only for them to do their business the moment you step back inside. It's frustrating, isn't it? But remember, your puppy isn't trying to annoy you. They're just learning. Patience is not just a virtue, it's a necessity when it comes to potty training. Perhaps the most significant struggle, though, is failing to recognize that every dog is different. Just like us, they have their own personalities, learning styles, and pace. What works for one might not work for another. Your neighbor's dog might have been potty trained in a week, but that doesn't mean yours will be. Understanding your dog's unique needs and adapting your training method accordingly is crucial. But here's the good news. These struggles aren't insurmountable. They're just part of the journey. Armed with the right information, a bucket load of patience, and a pinch of humor, you can turn this uphill task into a rewarding experience for both you and your furry friend. But don't worry, with the right information and approach, you can master the art of potty training your furry friend. Yes, it might be challenging, but it's far from impossible, so let's dive in together and make potty training a less daunting task. Before we dive into the step-by-step guide, let's understand the basics. In the world of potty training our furry friends, a few key principles stand out: regular feeding schedules, recognizing a dog's signals, and the unbeatable duo of patience and consistency. First up, regular feeding schedules. Dogs, much like us, are creatures of habit. Establishing a consistent feeding schedule can make a world of difference in predicting when your dog may need to go. As a rule of thumb, puppies typically need to go out within half an hour after eating, while adult dogs may wait a bit longer. Next, let's talk about understanding your dog's signals. Every dog is unique, and so are their signals. Some might whine, some might scratch at the door, and others might just give you the look. It's important to spend time observing your pet and learning their unique "I gotta go" cues. This will help you respond promptly and reduce the likelihood of accidents. Now onto the third ingredient in our potty training recipe: patience and consistency. Yes, it's a duo and they're inseparable. Potty training isn't a one-day affair. It requires repeated, consistent behaviors over time. You'll need to be patient, especially during the initial stages, and give your pet the time they need to learn. Lastly, let's discuss the difference between indoor and outdoor potty training. Outdoor training is typically the go-to method, teaching your dog to do their business outside. However, for those living in apartments or without easy outdoor access, indoor training with puppy pads or a litter box can be a viable option. Remember, the key here is to choose a method that suits your lifestyle and stick to it. With these basics in mind, let's move on to the practical steps of potty training. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of potty training your dog. First things first, setting a routine. Dogs like us are creatures of habit. Establishing a regular schedule for feeding, playtime, and potty breaks can help your dog understand when it's time to do their business. Aim to take your dog out first thing in the morning, after meals and playtimes, and last thing at night. This helps your dog associate these times with going to the toilet, making the potty training process smoother. Next up, monitoring food and water intake. This is crucial because what goes in must come out. By controlling when your dog eats, you can predict when they'll need to go potty. Ideally, remove the water dish about 2 hours before bedtime to reduce the likelihood of nighttime accidents. But remember, never deprive your dog of water if they're thirsty, especially in hot weather or after vigorous exercise. Now let's talk about recognizing the signs. Dogs usually show certain behaviors when they need to go. They might start to pace, whine, circle, sniff, or even try to get your attention in some way. It's important to keep a watchful eye for these signs, especially during the training period. Once you notice these signs, promptly take your dog to their potty area. This not only prevents accidents but also reinforces where they should do their business. Choosing a designated potty area is another vital step. Pick a specific spot outside for your dog to go potty. Each time your dog needs to go, bring them to this spot. This consistency helps your dog understand where they are supposed to go. If you're living in an apartment or can't go outside for every potty break, consider using a puppy pad or indoor potty grass tray. Pick a spot in your home where you can easily clean up if there are any misses. Lastly, always clean up accidents thoroughly. The smell of urine can attract your dog back to the same spot to go again. Use an enzymatic cleaner to fully remove the scent. If accidents happen, remember it's part of the process. Don't punish your dog, as it can create fear and anxiety, making potty training more difficult. Don't forget, patience is essential during potty training. It can take several weeks or even months for a dog to be fully house-trained. Every dog is different, so don't compare your dog's progress to others. Remember, consistency is key in potty training. Stick to the routine and you'll see results. You're not alone in this journey. There are resources to help you out. In the vast world of pet ownership, there are many tools at your disposal to aid in the potty training process. One of the most common resources is the Humble Training Pad. These absorbent pads are perfect for pets that are still learning the ropes. They're easy to dispose of, and many have attractant scents to encourage your pet to use them. Next up, we have potty training aids. These come in various forms such as sprays, which can be used to signal to your pet where it's appropriate to go. There are also bell training systems, where your pet learns to ring a bell when they need to go outside. If you're more of a reader, there are countless books and online guides that offer advice and strategies for successful potty training. They provide insights into pet behavior and give you a deeper understanding of what works and what doesn't. If you're still struggling, don't be discouraged. There are professionals out there who can help. Dog trainers and animal behaviorists have the expertise to guide you and your pet through this process. They can assess your pet's behavior and create a personalized training plan. Remember, every pet is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. It's all about finding the right combination of resources that works for you and your pet. These resources can provide additional help and make the potty training process smoother. Lastly, let's not forget the power of positive reinforcement. You see, dogs are a lot like us humans. They thrive on success, and they love being appreciated. When it comes to potty training, rewarding your furry friend's successful ventures is not an option, it's a necessity. Here's why. Positive reinforcement encourages good behavior. When your dog realizes that going potty in the right place leads to a reward, they're more likely to repeat that behavior. Simple, isn't it? Now let's talk about what these rewards could look like. Treats are a classic favorite. Dogs have a keen sense of smell and a love for food, so a small, tasty treat can be a powerful motivator. But remember, moderation is key. You don't want to overdo it and end up with an overweight pet. Praises are another great way to reward your dog. A warm, enthusiastic good boy or good girl can make your dog's tail wag in joy. Dogs are incredibly perceptive and can pick up on your tone and energy, so make sure your praises are genuine and filled with love. Lastly, playtime can also serve as a reward. A quick game of fetch or a belly rub can make your dog feel loved and appreciated. This not only strengthens your bond but also makes potty training a fun and exciting experience. Remember, a little praise goes a long way in motivating your pet. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. Potty training your dog can initially feel overwhelming, but understanding the basics is a game changer. Every dog, like humans, has its own pace of learning. Establishing a consistent routine with regular breaks for your furry friend to relieve itself is a crucial part of the process. Next, we delved into the wealth of resources available to aid in this journey. From training pads to informative books, and even specialized dog trainers, you're not alone in this. Use these tools to your advantage, and remember, it's okay to ask for help. Finally, we underscored the importance of rewarding success. Positive reinforcement not only motivates your dog, but also strengthens your bond with them. A little treat or an extra cuddle can go a long way. With patience, consistency, and a little help from available resources, the potty training journey can be a rewarding experience for both you and your dog.